because you may be surprised at the number of homegrown talents who have scored big abroad. And in fact, one of Asia's most successful songwriters and producers, for instance, is a chap by the name of Tat Tong, a Singaporean responsible for 41 top 20 hits worldwide, and he signed to Universal Music. And also, last week, one of the originals of the scene passed away, entertainer Victor Khoo, best known as a ventriloquist, a magician, a radio host, and he even toured the world and played at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. So, these are, I guess, do we call them Singaporean artists or artists who are Singaporean? It backs to the question again. And we've talked about many other big stars. We all heard of Stefanie San, J.J. Lin. Do you think we have evolved a popular culture that is typically Singaporean in its identity?
I would actually be quite wary about defining Singapore culture or identity in very simplistic or reductive terms. The thing is, I think Singapore is such a different sort of culture. We are so multiracial, we are so diverse, we are so multifaceted. And I think that is what we have been trumping on for a long, long time, which is why I think Singapore identity or Singapore culture is one thing, but at the same time, it's many things. I think we are a city of possibilities, and to try and always find the answer for this is our identity, because we are always evolving, we are always changing, and I think we should accept that.
Interesting story. Carolyn spearheaded a project called Music City recently, and we wrote a song called 1949. When you listen to 1949, you hear country pop, you hear Appalachian, Americana, country folk, whatever you want to call it. But the song was inspired by Tiong Bahru in 1949, just after the war, actually Singapore Road. And we sort of fell in love with the place because of the project, and we decided to fabricate a love story around it. And I think that's the spirit. We don't shy away from the fact that we are Singaporean. We don't shy away from the fact that we're a globalized city and we're a globalized artist. And if you combine the two, and if you're popular, if you have influence, and if you wear the local colors and you run on a pedestal and you stand proud, you can affect change, and you can put us, you can do
I'd like
crazy
to
stuff.
add to what both Ben and Anthony have said. Uniquely Singaporean, I think it means a piece of creative work that could not have been done exactly the same way anywhere else. It's not about having ingredient A, B, C. So look at Ilo Ilo. Could that film have been made the same way anywhere else? Don't think so. Could any of Jack Neo's films have been made the same way anywhere else? Don't think so. Could Ben and your band's music have come together in exactly the same way anywhere else? I don't think so. Could some of the designers that Dennis represents have done what they have done the same way anywhere else? Probably not. So, and that evolves over time. Anthony is right, it's dynamic. There's no one simple formula for that country's culture forever.
But I guess what we're saying is sometimes when you look at something or you listen to something, you're like, yeah, it feels like that's an American group, or it feels like that's from that place. Have we arrived there where we can say, oh yeah, I think that's from Singapore?
May I just jump in here as well? Because if we're talking about the essence of a piece of work, now what Sam Willows did with 1949 was that they used the space in Tiong Bahru as inspiration for that. And I see that also in, if we look back to, again, to the 60s, Matthew and the Mandarins, Singapore Cowboy, it was, that is iconic. And it was totally country. It's totally country. How can you say it's Singapore, right? Yeah. But it resonates with so many Singaporeans because it tells his story. And it is Matthew Tan's story, basically. And, for many of his fans, even today, they find they love the melody and it's easy to dance to.
Okay. So we don't need a K-pop, we don't need Hello Kitty, we don't need these icons to say, this is the kind of culture we are.
But then again, that isn't our culture either, in some sense.
So, are we working towards our own Hello Kitty in that sense?
I think you grow that organically. It happens. A body of work is necessary, right? You need creative people, you need creative output, and the more that happens, the more that is seen and known, the higher the chances that some things will emerge and in time to come be, hey, yeah, that's really iconically Korean, that's really iconically Singaporean, that's really iconically Nordic or whatever. I don't think it's easy or desirable to just manufacture something. You need it for a brand, for an organization, for a company, of course. But for a national popular culture, I think you define it by continuously adding to the body of work. And that's what we're already
And then
doing.
it will eventually evolve and
Yes.
find its own place.